We in the initiative know that watching our content causes YouTube to shove these channels in your face. And we know that the three dots maneuver doesn't help much, if at all. So from now on, we'll be linking to several third-party add-ons designed for one thing: chud blocking. I mean, you can block whatever you want, but in this case, you can be sure that the only time you'll ever hear from these parasites of film and pop culture will be when organized chaos turns their deranged backward logic on them to highlight their hypocrisy, or when Willis Credia takes their bizarre narratives about the box office to task. There are blockers for Chrome, Firefox, and even one for Opera. Do you use Opera? Who uses Opera? They're rated pretty highly, and crucially, they're free. We're calling this Operation Chud Block, and we're calling on you to take part. Operation Chud Block is go.
The future. Also, Ryan, you should have been a bubblehead.
There you go. No, I didn't have to go down on subs.
Uh-oh, I waited too long to piss. It's already started.
If you spend a year of your time after the first trailer comes out going, this movie is shit, only weirdos are gonna like it, it's gonna be about feminism, it's gonna be about racial diversity, it's gonna be about identity politics, it's gonna be about this, it's gonna be about that, and they do that for a whole year, do you actually believe that the people that watch that or the people that say that are gonna go into a movie and give it a fair shot? And this is a genuine question. Do you believe people that make that kind of content will go into a movie and go, I'm gonna be open-minded about this, and then my opinion coming out of it is gonna reflect what I personally feel about it after watching the movie? It is not financially beneficial for them to change their mind. Let me say this again. It is not a good way to make money for them to spend a year shitting on something and then watching it going, oh, I was wrong, it's actually pretty good. Because all that does is drive their viewers away from them. So they'll never change their mind about a movie. They will go into the movie already ready to hate it, come out and say, it's just as I predicted. There's nothing personal against them. I don't know them personally. I'm only talking about the way they run their channels and the kind of content that they do.
The only way that you can really stop this kind of thing is to arouse public opinion. It's very upsetting. It has a bad moral effect.
Forced adversity. What's more terrifying? Fear or the frightened?
The facts of history and the aggressive impulses of an evil empire.
Bad, B-A-D-D, bothered about Dungeons and Dragons.
Up yours, woke moralists.
Socialism has spread the shadow of human regimentation over most of the nations of the earth.
And they're pushing identity politics with this. They 100% are.
How do you think homosexuals reveal themselves?
And the shadow is encroaching upon our own liberty.
I think there ought to be a law against them. Tonight I'm going to show you why.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Grab on.
Go get something else.
Grab the snake!
Damn, I thought that was closer.
IMF has been disavowed.
So what happens now?
Your mission, should you choose to accept.
To protect the home we all share.
How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
All right, won't be waiting too much longer. Technical issues dragged it out long enough. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Let me go ahead and bring everybody else on. George, Bobby, how you guys doing?
Doing good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
We finally made it. Yeah, we made it, guys. Oh my God,
we have arrived.
Yeah. It was fun getting here. You know, what I like is that this podcast is technically seamless at every level, every time. Never an issue. It's beautiful.
Not once.
You know,
and never has it been my fault at all.
No, it's never anyone's fault because we've never had an issue, Bobby.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, accident free.
We're right on time. So
yeah. No. Well, I announced a while ago that the podcast would be starting at 7:25. And if you're having trouble finding that post, I don't know what to say.
That's always why whenever I post to the socials, I just put ish because stuff happens. Inclement weather.
Yeah. It's the world of live streaming. It is impossible to predict.
Tornadoes.
Yeah. Like, you know, when we record it, we can kind of hide some stuff. But when it's live stream, it's like shit's just happening.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
That is the show's motto here. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
But you know, we got some cool movies. We got Indiana Jones 4. Well, I like 2 of the movies, and 1 is Indiana Jones 4. But we'll get to it.
We're gonna have some fun thoughts then.
Yeah. Well, after that, we got Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and then the new Transformers movie, Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Beast Wars.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Beast Wars. Let me go ahead and bring up the normal intro stuff. Yeah, pretty much. But are you guys ready to dive into Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Sure. Yeah. Let's dive into it.
So, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and say it. Like, when this came out and I first saw it, I was a pretty big defender of it. I enjoyed it. And I still would never say it's like the worst movie ever made by any stretch of the word. It's got its pluses and minuses, but I think for me the biggest thing with this movie anymore is that just so much of it looks fake. And like there are practical shots. There are lots of practical shots in here. And occasionally I'll be like, oh, well, that looks cool. And it cuts to another shot where I'm like, oh, that looks fake.
It has like a modern, washed out, like artificial tint to the movie.
Yeah.
Which kind of sets it apart from the others.
Well, I mean, part of what that is to help cover up the graphics, which it's kind of become clear that's exactly what they're doing with that.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest issue with this movie. There are other little things that bug me, but for the most part, like, what bugs me is that, like, I feel like every other shot just looks fake. And it makes it a bit rough to get through. But I guess who wants to go first? Who wants to go into their thoughts on this one first?
Okay.
I guess second.
Yeah.
Okay, George.
I'm digging my notes, so yeah.
Yeah, so I saw this one, I think, opening week back in 2007, 8?
I want to say 8. Yeah, I remember having to get babysitter because Ashleen was so little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was around then because I also went to the theater to see this for when it came out originally.
I did as well.
I've seen it recently, and my opinion of it hasn't really changed much. I enjoyed the movie. It's my least favorite Indiana Jones movie thus far. There are definitely some things I like about it. There's a lot of people that, like you, Bob, for what it is, the movie is totally fine. There's things like Nuke the Fridge has become such a meme and it's so unrealistic, and why would that ever work in this universe? And it's like the same reason that black magic works, or they can survive falling off of the airplane and going off of like thousands of feet in the raft and landing perfectly impact in the water. Yeah,
I have my issues with that raft shit. That raft shit was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's no more goofier than like half the crap you see in Temple of Doom. So I mean,
I don't know how harsh I want to get on the fridge thing, because the fridge thing is dumb, but then like the whole point of the fridge thing is that this great shot next to him and that bomb that looks so good.
But to be fair, this probably isn't the dumbest thing in an Indiana Jones movie.
No, it probably isn't.
It's not. That has yet to be seen. So I mean, but as of that moment, it wasn't the dumbest. I mean, it was up there, but
I mean, the premise is fine, and a lot of times it feels like it kind of hits the same kind of comedy and action marks as like the previous movies, but it just doesn't have the same flow to it. It feels a little rough around the edges. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of problems with it. It's just my least favorite of the 4. So,
yeah.
The score isn't as good as the other 3. I'll also mention that.
Yeah, the score isn't as great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go ahead and list off a few things I think work in this. So Harrison Ford, I remember thinking Harrison Ford is like way too old for this, and like I didn't get this watching at all. I thought he was fine in this. He's a little old, but like it's fine.
Well, now you know
I'm getting older and I don't care. Maybe it's
and all the time that has passed. Maybe you'll get that feeling when you watch the new one. But I've always loved Harrison Ford. He'll always get a pass for me.
Yeah.
So.
Shia LaBeouf, as much as I hate him in the Transformers movies, I actually think he's fine here.
Respectfully disagree.
There is a very funny moment that I'll get to.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with Shia LaBeouf. I will say this viewing. I think Bobby and I will have agreement on this one. This viewing really gave I like Cate Blanchett as an actor.
I don't. I didn't in this. I did not.
Well, that's the thing. In this, I don't like her either.
I did like her in this.
That's the one big takeaway for me, that I absolutely hated her. not in the sense of just a character, just the performance that we were given. It's just it was every time I just couldn't. It was painful to watch for me.
I disagree. I actually quite liked her character.
I did not.
The character I did not like was John Hurt's character. I thought he was kind of annoying.
I give kind of pass to him, but I can see that.
They definitely paid for a watered down John Hurt performance, but and they certainly got it. I felt that if you had John Hurt, he was underutilized in this role.
True.
It was the villain for me that really kills it, and also Shia. I just know I'm not a fan of him. I don't think he's.
I think he's fine, but like I cannot stand him in the Transformers movies, like at all. Like,
I can't stand the Transformers movies.
You haven't been forced to watch it, George.
I have seen the first two, and that's all I need to see.
I've seen them all. Oh God!
I'm sorry, Bob.
Why would you do that
sad.
to yourself?
It's sad. The fifth one is like so much worse than all the other ones.
They're on
like
5.
So bad.
Really?
No, they're not. They're on something.
No, they're on like We're going to talk about like 7 in a little bit. Thankfully, 6 and 7 are quite a bit better than the first 5.
What was 6?
Opinion, but we'll get to it. Bumblebee.
Yeah, actually, that one was all right.
Yeah, no, it's still my favorite.
I was surprised. I was pleased with that one.
Yeah.
I did like Karen Allen in this a lot, and I'm glad that they brought her back.
Yeah,
I like that they brought her back.
I don't know, like their married couple dynamic.
I feel there's a butt somewhere in there, Bob.
I know. Well, I'm not thrilled with her character here. I feel like, so obviously she is so pissed at Indy that she won't tell him that he has a son, which is kind of shitty in my opinion. But like the second he like shows her like any affection, she's like she's like butter in his hands. Like, it's like, you could have written this a bit better. I mean,
she's not as witty as she was in Raiders, but then again, she's older, so
yeah,
and she's a mother, so
yeah. I mean, do I think she's bad in this movie? Absolutely not. I think it's actually nice to bring her back. If you're going to bring back any Indiana Jones love interest, it's definitely Marion. Because holy shit.
I love the married couple bickering between the two of them. It was really fun.
that actually kind of works for me as well.
Yeah.
I never got a really good explanation as to why she didn't tell Indy that she had that he had a son. That's really bad in my opinion.
Well, especially for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
What did you guys think of? What did you guys think of? Pretty much Steven Spielberg and George Lucas just having that little like 3-minute tribute to The Outsiders.
With the
the part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was okay with it. Well,
I didn't remember that from the first time I watched it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've really watched this since I saw it in the theater.
Is it a tribute to The Outsiders, or is it American Graffiti? And I'll be honest.
I mean, probably, but I immediately thought The Outsiders.
I have not seen American Graffiti
myself, but
it's so long. But one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and it's just the quirky blink it and you miss it humor that I love about these movies, is where he's talking and Mutt takes his comb and then dips it in the Coke from the table beside, and then the person looks. It's just little things like that I find funny. So I'm glad
I'm happy you brought that up, because when that part happened, I really wasn't paying attention until I saw his hand go up, and I was like, wait, did he just dip that in Coke?
Yeah,
and I started paying attention to that.
I like little touches like that. I also like when we have the big Paramount. Yeah, I think it's Paramount Mountain. And that fades away to a molehill. I like that until we get that really bad CGI gopher. Like
I don't like the transition. Gopher, no.
You see, I like that transition. I like they're kind of playing with it until we get to the gopher. It's like, ugh.
I hated the opening credits. Like the text that was on it.
There is a solid gold piece of dialogue in there that it gets me every time, is where he's talking with the dean, and there's the picture of Brody and the picture of his dad, where he says something about, you've reached the age where life stops giving and it starts taking away from you.
Mm-hmm.
That line always gets me. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
so there's some gold in here. There's you have to dig for it. But
This isn't all bad. Like I want to stress, while I don't like this movie, I don't think it's a complete shit show. There's definitely gems to be had here. It's the worst Indiana Jones movie by a decent margin, and I hope it maintains being the worst because I'm really like crossing my fingers for Dial of Destiny. I know early reviews aren't great, but God, I hope it's good. I guess. We're going into it next week. What do you guys?
How did you guys feel about the aliens factoring into this one?
I'm kind of maintained that I'm fine with it.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Did you have thoughts on it, Bobby?
I'm indifferent to it. I mean, I think they could have gone for. I would have liked it personally if it was more occult. If they went back into that with it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they kind of use the aliens, say they started a religion around the aliens. And it's like, okay, I can see that.
There's still the religious aspect to it. It's just a different kind of supernatural.
It's a different supernatural,
No, it's what I kind of realized watching this is like, in the Indiana Jones universe, all ancient religions are true. Just all of them. They all happen. They all.
It's all factual.
Yeah. And my argument towards the aliens is the same argument I've always used. Indiana Jones is about pseudo-archaeology, and aliens are a big part of pseudo-archaeology. So honestly, it was only a matter of time before they came into an Indiana Jones movie if they keep on making them, which they did. It didn't take too long.
Well, and I think it also plays into I think the year that the movie takes place in, it was like
57.
57. So you're getting into like kind of Roswell and kind of
it
was a thing at the time.
I mean,
so it was a reflection of the era.
I figured it was going that route when it said like, Nevada 1957 and they're going into base and I just went, well, this is only going to go maybe one of two ways.
Yeah.
It was
and
a nice touch to see the Ark. Honestly, I first thought when they were in my, they're after the Ark. This movie's
that was what I thought
quick,
too. Yeah.
Real quick.
Well, I'd imagine the new movie takes place in 60s, right?
Yeah,
I'm guessing like if it's like this one, it'd be like early 70s, right? Because this movie was 15 years ago, so 15 years would be like 72.
Sounds right. So I imagine there will be things in the new movie that's kind of unique to that era, or is a kind of a reflection of the era, much like this one is to the 50s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, actually, I think that's interesting you brought that up, Lion Mom, because I actually think I might have liked this movie more if it was made before they were so reliant on CGI, and that one forced a lot of the visuals to be practical, and I might have actually enjoyed it more that way.
Maybe the balance of CGI.
Yeah, it's kind of a victim of that time period where like they were just got too reliant on CGI. I feel like.
And none of that bothered me personally. It's just the color palette looks a little artificial. Like it doesn't bother me that there's a mix of practical and CGI or too much CGI. It has a different look to it than the other movies do. With the choice of colors, and maybe you're right, Bob. Maybe they're trying to wash out or blur certain things to hide artifacts of where the effects are put in. But yeah, that's my takeaway of the visuals.
Yeah, and. It's. I think they're obviously trying to cover it up, and that's kind of what bugs me because there's certain shots here that are clearly practical, and then there's certain shots that are clearly fake.
Well, like
that don't have to be fake remotely.
No, like when they first got to the part in the Amazon or the jungle where they were searching for the temple, and that those occult guys are trying to shoot those poison darts at him. Like that was a set. Like that was all good.
Yes.
That part of it, I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a real set. That's awesome. But some of the CGI in here is a little jarring. Like the chase through the jungle is just a little. This looks rough.
I'm glad you brought that up because
fighting looked rough.
Yeah, there's that sword fight between Cate Blanchett and Shia LaBeouf.
The two worst things in this movie, in my opinion.
I'm okay with Shia, but
Shia is your guy. All right.
But listen, man, I think in like in theory, that sword fight's actually pretty cool. Like they're standing on a vehicle and they have to do a sword fight.
No, that idea
in theory,
is awesome.
That's a cool idea.
In theory, it's a
but
great idea.
But it looks so fucking fake. It drives me nuts. And like,
yeah,
I think you can tell from the back when you have stunt people, there are a couple of shots that look good. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then you cut to the front and it looks awful again.
Well, and there's also like the mine chase. If you ever watched the making ofs, there's some of the far away shots, you know, where they're actual using miniatures in the mines. You know, the back of the heads are just puppets in the cart. Yeah. And once you see those making ofs, you can't unsee it. So I mean, I give a little bit of leverage for fake versus real with these kind of movies.
Well,
no, for me, it's like when I start drawing a line is when I really think they could do it without relying on the CGI. That like when they're running away from the temple and that's collapsing, I'll give them a pass on that one because you're not going to build that fucking set.
Remind me, did you give a pass to the opening segment in Flash?
I haven't seen Flash yet.
Oh, I'm asking Bob.
Oh, did I give a pass?
Yeah, with your CGI.
Well, my initial thing was I gave it a slight pass just to see what it was doing because like babies falling from there, I'm okay with that looking cartoony. Yeah, because that looking real might be a bit much. But the fact is, the rest of the movie kept on hanging me with it, and then the pass kind of went away. So I guess no, I didn't give it a pass, but I was willing to if that was it.
All right, microwave is where you draw the line. Got it.
Yep, absolutely. Fuck that microwave. But yeah,
sorry to interrupt your flow for a tasteless joke.
Oh, it's all good. Listen, man, if we don't interrupt the flow for a tasteless joke, what are we supposed to interrupt the flow for? I guess is there anything you guys want to add to this? Because yeah, I think for me, it's just the bad visuals kill me on this one anymore.
Yeah, the grain on the film is a little jarring to me, and a lot of times, and it really pulls me out of the worlds a lot of it. And with the CGI, like you've all mentioned, that does. I don't know. I guess maybe I kind of wanted just an old-fashioned indie with him punching Nazis.
Yeah.
But I guess I could settle for a communist. Yes.
Yeah. More Nazi punching, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we yeah.
So we'll have to see next week if Dial of Destiny is better than this movie or if it will shed some new light on this one. It's like, you know, Crystal Skull really isn't the worst Indiana Jones movie.
I was going to ask you guys, what are you thinking going into it? Because I know the earlier reviews aren't good. I'm still hoping it's good.
I'm trying not to read anything about it.
I'm trying not to dive too deep into it. Yeah.
Blind. Like I've only watched a trailer for it when I've been in the theater. Like if one pops up, I'll just like close the window. I just don't want to know anything about it.
I know, like essentially the story was James Mangold took over directing. Essentially, it was going to be Steven Spielberg, but he ended up taking a backseat to James Mangold, and eventually Steven Spielberg left the set because, like, he was like, "Hey, Mangold is doing everything I would do, so I wasn't doing anything."
Really, because you know, some could interpret that as, you know, Spielberg's gone, so you know it's.
Oh, I'm sure that they already have.
I'm just imagining. I mean, I know that so many of those types of reviewers and like content creators really have a hatred for Kathleen Kennedy. An unhealthy hatred.
Yes.
I mean, I could be unhappy with, like, you know, executives and producers for decisions they've made, but you know,
yeah, she was on fire in the 80s though. There's a lot of things that she worked on that were like
a lot of stuff that I'm sure a lot of the stuff that all those people I mentioned, you know, have a deep love for. Bet you her name is on it. So
yeah, she was a legend. I mean, she is a legend. So
yeah,
I mean, you know, say what you will.
I mean,
and it's fine. I'm glad that there's content. Like, even, you know, if I think Star Wars is a mixed bag these days, I mean, I'm still glad that the content is there.
Yeah, I'm just happy that the property is releasing new content. Like, I don't, I'll take whatever that. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, I'll check it out. I might like it. I might not. But I'll check it out, see what it is.
Same thing with
It is
this.
what it is.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
there's new content for a 40-year-old franchise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Well, I know
wanna
this
see
new
what
one.
happens, yeah.
Yeah, this new one is not going to be better than Raiders or Last Crusade. We know that.
Oh no!
But it has
No.
potential to be better than the other two. But if it's not, that's fine
I
too.
mean,
As long
okay,
as it's
I-
enjoyable, that's all.
I
I'm
could say
hoping
one
for,
thing
so.
I know that I'll see is definitely callbacks to the past films.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I think it'll be a bit ridiculous if he's out running a boulder in this one.
No, yeah.
I'll still appreciate it though.
True. Do you think Short Round will pop up? I kind of want Short Round to pop up.
I kind of hope that's being kept a secret.
That would
Yeah.
be nice. I think
The only
Karen-
thing related to it I've seen is it was at some premiere where Harrison Ford was giving an interview, and he snuck up behind him, gave him a big hug, and yelled "Indy," and
Aw.
kind of just invaded his didn't invade his interview, just popped up and surprised him. Harrison put his arm around him, kind of gave him a hug. He's like, "Hey, we'll talk later." He's like, "I just wanted to come over and say hi and congratulations." And that was I saw it from two angles. I was like, "Oh, that dude is just so genuinely awesome."
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen other than the trailer. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping it can be really good.
It looks like
Yeah,
Karen Allen is coming back for this one too.
Is she?
Okay.
She's in the
I haven't
cast
heard
list on
anything about that
IMDb. Yeah.
Well, IMDb
So-
can change, but I mean, maybe, yeah.
we'll
Let's
see.
see. Well, is there anything you want to add, George?
No, don't think so.
All right. So I guess are you gonna jump off for Mission Impossible?
Yeah, and I'll
All
be
right.
on next week for Indiana Jones
Oh yeah,
5.
Dial of Destiny.
The
Yes.
Dial of
No.
Destiny.
Indy
All right.
5.
All right, take care,
We'll
guys.
find
Take
out.
care.
Yeah.
All
Take
right.
care, George.
See ya.
All right, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I enjoyed this one more than I remember. Brad Bird, I don't even know if he's done another live action movie besides this one, but he kind of has like a flow to his direction that gave this one a good pace. However, if I were to crap on this one, it's the villain. I cannot. Even after watching this, I can't tell you.
There was a
anything about this
villain?
fucking villain. Yeah,
There was a villain in this?
There was this bad guy's face that kept on popping up, and it was almost like every time he popped, it was like, "Oh yeah, it's that guy." I mean, I think it really stands out after Philip Seymour Hoffman in the third one, who was so phenomenal in that movie, and then this one, it's like, yeah, I guess there's a villain. There's a guy doing shit.
I'm not gonna lie. The entire time I was watching this, I was waiting for Jimmy Retner to flip and just be the bad guy. I was just waiting for it the whole time. So I was
it's not that one. It's not that one.
No, I just was really hoping he was playing the bad guy, and I was.
No.
When I saw it was established what actor was playing, you go, "Oh, he's always great. He turns in a great performance." Really didn't have much for him to do in this one. This one is definitely surprisingly. There's just the one scene of Tom Cruise trying to kill himself.
Yeah. But yes. Super chat. Brightburn. I kind of prefer the two espionage films Ford did before Indy 4.
Oh, where he was Jack Ryan?
Yeah, the Jack Ryan movies.
Oh yeah, no, those
I also
are great.
I also
movies.
love Hunt for Red October.
I don't know.
Ford one.
Yeah, no, that's where he's played by Alec Baldwin, right?
Yeah.
And then there was another actor who played him, before Jim from The Office. It was Chris Pine? No, not Chris Pine.
I think Ben Affleck played him, and Chris Pine, I think, also played him.
Yeah, it was Chris Pine.
Movies.
Yeah, it was when he was doing. Chris Pine was doing that thing where he was playing other roles that have made other actors famous.
Yeah.
Kept playing them.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I like Chris Pine, but yeah, he definitely had a vibe for a little bit where it's he needs to do his own thing.
He was playing roles that have made other actors famous, and then he went and played a role. Well, no, not really, because no one should try and remake the 2000s Dungeons and Dragons movie.
No,
but yeah, Yeah, those Tom Clancy novels are also pretty great too. Or when they turn them into movies, they're usually pretty good. Pretty awesome.
I've read Hunt for Red October. It's been a while, but I remember liking it quite a bit. So
what would you say you like better, Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger?
If memory serves, it's been a while since I've seen either of them. I think Clear and Present Danger is the one I prefer. Although Patriot Games, I think, is the one that gets name dropped the most. I remember thinking Patriot Games was all right, but a little too predictable. Like, the thing I remember from Patriot Games is that they're fighting the bad guy on a boat, and then we're looking at this, like, hook, and we're staring at this hook for, like, 5 hours. And it gets to the point where I'm like, just throw the bad guy in the hook, finally. Just do it. And then it finally happens. It's like, oh, wow, what a shock.
Yeah, Clear and Present Danger is where they go fight drug cartels with Willem Dafoe, which I always forget he's in that movie until I watch it.
I forgot he was in it too. God, it's been a while since I've seen it.
I just distinctly remember him at the end just with an assault rifle, just being mad, killing people.
But those are good ones. And thanks for the super chat, Brightburn. Oh, yeah, and just to let everybody know, like and subscribe, of course.
Yes, please like and subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, and this is on the
main
channel, my main channel, and the podcast channel right now. But this will, only while it's live will it be on my channel. So if you want to watch the whole thing and you have to leave, that's fine. But you just gotta jump over to the podcast channel and check it out. And make sure to like and subscribe. And just like and subscribe to the podcast channel.
Yes.
We talk about this shit all the time. It's fun.
Sometimes we disagree, sometimes we agree, but when we disagree, we don't fight and name call.
Oh, well, maybe you don't. You fucking poopy pants motherfucker.
You fake Irishman.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's it. I'm out.
Oh, Setlock. Oh, all right. Well, this movie is kind of meh. I'm not a big fan of the. Oh, you're back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess so. You slide into Mission Impossible 4?
Yeah. No, so what? They get disavowed and they have to kind of do all this with bare bones tech. I kind of like that aspect of it, and I'll say this one actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, like I said, I didn't remember. I remember it's always one of those things where it's like I like this movie and then I just kind of forget about it, and then I watch it and then I go, oh, I like it. Then I just kind of forget about. So, I mean, that's probably not a great aspect for a movie for you to kind of forget about it, because I remember Rogue Nation way better than this one, and I've probably seen them both probably equal amounts of times. So
did they explain why Luther wasn't with them the whole time?
Well, he's just not part of their team in this one. That is kind of an interesting one, because Luther's part of their team in all of them except this one. This is
because I would have thought of several situations in this movie where he wouldn't have ran into the problem.
Well, I mean, I think in this one, they want Simon Pegg to be the tech guy, but they couldn't think of a way to have Luther and Simon Pegg there. Which in the next one, they're just we're both there, and sometimes you need two tech guys, so we'll just roll with it sometimes. But I do like Simon Pegg being upgraded here to essentially the full-fledged member of the team. So I do like his addition, even though he's essentially kind of doing Luther's thing, and I like Luther as well. So you end up with two characters doing about the same thing, and I'm kind of cool with it because I like both their characters. Now, fun fact. Maybe it's the reason why I knew Jeremy Renner wasn't going to turn evil, because I knew the reason why Jeremy Renner was in this, because this is kind of a soft reboot of the franchise. They did the original trilogy and they weren't really sure if they would do another one, and then they went ahead and made this one, but Jeremy Renner was introduced in case Tom Cruise wanted to walk away. And obviously, pretty much the opposite happened. Yeah, pretty much the opposite happened. After this, Tom Cruise, I think, pretty much bought up the rights to the franchise. Said, "No, this is my franchise." But this is I enjoy this, but calling it meh, I can almost get, because in probably a couple weeks, I'm gonna kind of forget this one again. I know it because it just happens every time I watch this one.
JP, I don't know
something about it
who
doesn't have
Ryan
staying power.
Drake is. Who is Ryan Drake?
Ryan Drake. Okay, so Ryan Drake is the Critical Drinkers knockoff Jack Ryan character that he does for his books.
Ooh.
I have. It's kind of sad that I know that, but his fans keep on regurgitating it back to me. I will say I haven't read any of the books, but apparently Ed Pop Counterculture, you subscribe to him and subscribe to Bobby Quarters as well.
Yes, please.
But he has read one of his books, and he's apparently it's like super woke for someone like Critical Drinker to write. Super woke and super boring. Yeah.
I will have to find a torrent for it. I mean, acquire a copy.
Yeah. Legally acquire a copy. We would
Yeah,
never
legally.
want to be illegal.
No, never. I'm usually pretty law-abiding. Usually.
Yeah. Let's face it. If the purge ever happened, I would be downloading stuff like mad.
Oh yeah.
All crime is legal for 24 hours. Don't you want to commit murder? No, I want to illegally.
I'd be parking in front of fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Parking in front of fire hydrants and fire roads. Yeah. Blocking entrances to federal buildings. Causing mayhem.
The stuff I would do that would cause no permanent damage whatsoever. Just for fun. But I can get calling it meh. I will say, I think it's Paula Patton plays the main woman on the team in this one. I thought she was really good. And yeah, it doesn't happen until later where women. I feel like throughout most of these movies, the women character just like they get one movie and then they get forgotten about. Like the men might get a chance to return, but the woman character no, and that's kind of lame. But yeah, I guess there's anything you want to add for Ghost Protocol before we go on to Transformers?
No, I did enjoy this one, but I wish the villain had more.
Yeah. Yeah, the villain. How many lines does the villain? Like, I was even trying to remember if the villain said anything, and I'm pretty sure he does. But like, what? Maybe a handful of lines throughout this movie.
I think the red herring. I think the red herring says more than the villain does in all of this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is just not a remotely memorable villain. I actually think Leah Seydoux, who plays like the assassin at the beginning, is way more memorable as a villain than the main guy who's supposed to be the uber threat in this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was hard for me to pay attention after like the assassin was killed. I was like, because I was thinking, oh, that's the main baddie. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some cool set pieces in this. Like obviously, I think the most famous is him on the building with the gloves, which are a fun little techie thing. Of course, they start failing, which is fun. But like they explain how they work.
To kill himself.
Start failing. It's like okay, yeah. And well, Tom Cruise is of course going to try to kill himself because he's Tom Cruise and he's insane.
For our entertainment.
Listen, the dude. I enjoy his movies, but the dude is fucking off his rocker.
Oh yeah, he's off his rocker. I enjoy it. I kind of enjoy some of his work too, but he is batshit crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess are we ready for Transformers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say I enjoyed this, but like
there's actually a lot about this.
I
did enjoy about this. There's a lot I really enjoyed about this movie, actually.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I will start off with that.
Yeah. Listen, this is miles.
I thought the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah.
I was digging the soundtrack the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I thought, like, I will say, after The Flash, the visuals in this are just way... Like, even if you have issues with the visuals in this movie, so much better than The Flash. And so much more reliant on them than The Flash as well.
Yeah, these actually looked better.
Yeah. For the most part, I was able to believe most of these characters exist. There's a couple of shots that are wonky, of course. But for the most part, I was on board. I was actually kind of surprised. Like, So like throughout these movies, Bumblebee's been the main like transformer that like essentially gets a human counterpart. That's what happened with Shia LaBeouf. That's what happens in the Bumblebee movie, obviously. And then you got the Mark Wahlberg ones where that one was actually Optimus Prime. And then in this one, it was Mirage, as played by Pete Davidson, who, like, the idea that Pete Davidson would be a Transformer kind of concerned me, especially with him being goofy. But,
I mean, I seem to we didn't watch this one in particular, but I remember hearing complaints about one of these movies about some of the choices that they made for voices and character portrayal with some of the Transformers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm if they think like maybe they should do that, or maybe we should reel it in and just kind of have one be very funny and wisecracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for what it's worth, I thought Mirage was a fine addition. He was obviously the main Transformer in this.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't quite expecting. I'm kind of used to either B or Optimus being the main ones at this point. So having a new one, I guess, is kind of good. And I guess, like, I mean, he does a fine job. Here's the thing with this movie. I think this is a good movie. Nothing great, nothing amazing. This is good. Like, this is entertaining. I went to a theater. It's on for like just over 2 hours. I enjoyed, for the most part, the whole runtime. And I left, and it had like no impact on me. It's not like
oh yeah, no, it's not like Oscar worthy.
No, well, that's the thing. Like,
no.
I definitely, like, I really enjoyed Bumblebee when I walked out of the theater for that one. I thought, wow, this is nice. I like these characters. They have a good connection. You don't really get that as much here. And like, I don't want to say this. Like I said, this isn't bad. I enjoyed this, but no great impact at all. This is and if you're wondering, this is definitely a sequel to Bumblebee, because they bring up the Bumblebee stuff.
Oh yeah, quickly. Like right away.
They
yeah,
connect it firmly in there. Yeah, and I will say, like, I think this is way better than Bayformers, the Michael Bay ones, by a mile. I think it's a little bit disappointing that like those movies make so much money, and then since they've distanced themselves from the Michael Bay stuff, they're making so much less money, and that's a little sad in my opinion. But I guess it is what it is, and I guess at least they're making better movies, so there's that. Yeah, I guess Lion Mom kind of sums it up fairly well. Like, I would probably say of the, like, I haven't seen the cartoon movie in a long time, but I would definitely say this is the second best Transformers movie since 2007. Easy. But yeah, it's like, it's nothing special. Like, no. I think it's fairly well done. It's fairly predictable.
Oh yeah,
but,
very
like
very predictable.
Enough. Yeah. Like,
very predictable. Yeah.
Okay, spoilers. Bumblebee dies. Spoilers. He doesn't stay dead.
He gets resurrected.
Which you knew was coming. Like,
as soon as they said these stones might have the power, and go, and there he is.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like when Bumblebee dies, it's like, I don't think they're going to have the balls to actually keep Bumblebee dead. And I will actually also add, I don't know if I'd want them to keep Bumblebee dead, because I like Bumblebee. Like, of all the Transformers, I don't want him to die. But then when you kill him, it's like, well, you're going to bring him back. So,
yeah.
So, yeah. I guess, yeah, genuinely, I don't have much to say about this one other than that I enjoy it, but it's not great. It's an entertaining movie. Like, if you've seen everything else, I guess go ahead and check out this one. But, like, obviously, if you haven't seen Spider-Verse yet, watch Spider-Verse. But, yeah. Let's see. Have you... But, yeah. This is, like I said, I guess there's anything you want to add, Bobby? I guess I haven't said too much about this one.
Like, I enjoyed the soundtrack. I enjoyed the elements that like the humans story, and
Mm-hmm.
That part was good. The The Beast Wars part of it, it was just super predictable.
Yes,
super predictable, kind of painful, almost super predictable. But yeah, I didn't think they had the balls to commit to killing and keeping Bumblebee dead. I was kind of surprised at how early on in the film he kind of was dispensed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about midway through, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's like when we got to that action scene, I was like, "Oh, well, this is probably the action scene where you'd kill off somebody." But I don't know who you'd kill off, and that was Bumblebee. I was like, "Well, that's not sticking."
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. So, like the villain here, it's not Megatron. We got Unicron this time. Not voiced by Orson Welles, which is very sad.
I don't think they could have gotten Orson to do it. I think he was busy.
Yeah, he was busy with the
Being
afterlife
dead.
stuff. But you
Being
know,
dead.
yeah, it's very sad.
I
They
mean,
could've gotten audio
hey,
clips.
we were just fortunate to get the original voice actor of, Optimus Prime. I mean, I don't think we should count our stars for too many of those.
Yes. Well, I love that they keep Peter Cullen and Frank Welker largely around for these movies. So
I do too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Unicron largely works as the villain. The planet-sized planet eater Galactus of the Transformers universe. He largely works. You mainly deal with his minions, who are fairly powerful. I will give the movie that. The villains seemed like they were fairly powerful menaces. I never felt like the heroes were ever going to lose, but I did feel like the villains were a good obstacle for them to fight. But yeah, I wish I had more to say about this, other than it's fine. This is not a deep movie. This is fine. Totally passable. I guess.
Yeah,
I had Bobby.
It's all right. I mean, it had a very excited audience for this one. Yeah, my theaters, they loved it. I thought some of the fight scenes were a little shaky, but they still did look loads better than Flash. I really don't have much to say. I thought the voice cast of the Transformers and or the Autobots and the Beast Wars robots. I thought the voice cast did a great job.
Yes, definitely.
There was a lot of moments where I was kind of like, who is that? So I did have to stay after or during the credits just to see who voiced who, and that's also I found out Pete Davidson did the voice of Mirage. I was like, oh, so that's who Pete Davidson voiced. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I could kind of tell instantly because Pete Davidson kind of has
I couldn't place it the whole
time.
Time.
And an attitude that kind of stands out.
It was something like I knew it, and I knew that I knew it. I just couldn't place it the whole time. So it was a little unnerving at first.
Hold on one moment here.
Yeah.
There we go. So, hey, last minute, we're pretty close to the end of the podcast, but hey, if you'd like to donate to the Trevor Project, which is what we're doing this week on the initiative, this podcast is part of it. I just didn't get the overlay till the last minute. We got the barcode right there. If you're catching up with us later on the podcast channel, the barcode's right there. Make sure to contribute to the Trevor Project. They're a great organization. And we're just doing that for the last week of Pride Month here. But not much to add on Transformers much at all. Other than that, it was good. It was fine. It worked.
Yeah.
Well, here. What do we have going on next week? Let's find out.
Yes.
Well, next week we're already brought up Dial of Destiny. That is definitely going to be a thing happening. God, I hope it's good. Okay, and then we got Rogue Nation, and then Insidious. Have you seen the Insidious movies, Bobby?
I don't think so.
I remember liking those quite a bit. I've only seen the first 3.
There was also like a long period of time where I kind of veered away from new horror because they were kind of getting stuck on the paranormal activity aspect of things, and I kind of thought that was lame.
Yeah.
So I kind of just checked out and dove more into that's when I got into Dario Argento.
Well, I was about to say, the Insidious movies came out during that time, but don't worry, it's not found footage.
I know they're not. I know they're more based off of like spiritual and haunting sort of things. I think
James Wan does the first one too. I think
these are not the ones that are in the Warren universe, right?
No,
like
that's the Conjuring.
And that's right. That's right.
Yeah. This is the other one James Wan started. So
okay,
we will be checking out that one because there's a new one coming out that I found out last minute was actually happening. So yeah, those will be fun. So yeah,
cool. So wait, I actually get to go to a theater for a horror movie for the show. Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great because you know what I love the most about that is there'll be a thing where everyone will just me just laughing.
Yeah. No, like
I'm that asshole.
I do think it's funny when all these people jump these horror movies, and I just am so used to it. Like it's like, oh, cool. Maybe it's because I'm crazy. But anything you want to add before we sign out, Bobby?
No.
All right. Well then, everyone, have a good one. And
take her easy.
Take it easy.